No menus, no manuals, no sweat. Then you simply just take a photo. Let's be honest, flash photography can be really terrifying. Got rear curtain, front curtain, sync ports, bounce cards, and somewhere in there you're supposed to get a good photo. It's like joining a secret society of lighting wizards. But on the market now we see a lot of these cool compact flashes. They're really simple, almost laughable simple, because you pop them on, you turn on the flash, and you turn on the camera, and yeah. Den går ud nu, og jeg skal lige have et batteri i, måske 2 sekunder. You turn on the camera, and then you simply just take a photo. And these kind of flashes, they work with every camera, so there's really nothing to be afraid of here. And they're really simple tools if you just want to go out there and be creative with flash photography. In this video, I will take you through how I use them and how I set them up and how I expose my photos to get the best out of these kinds of flashes. So these flashes aren't really for anything. Where they shine is when you're going to recreate this disposable camera look that at least I remember from the 90s. Or perhaps if you like these kind of editorial portraits that you might see in a magazine of your famous celebrity. So you can shoot portrait photos with these kinds of flashes, but to really create texture and to carve shapes, then you need to be able to move the light to a side. And since the flashes are on the camera, this is not really possible. So you won't be able to create a really exciting kind of product photography with these flashes, if you ask me at least. And originally I planned to do 2 kinds of setups for this video, and one was me using a do-it-yourself diffuser, where I was supposed to soften the light a bit and then do some hopefully interesting product photography. But I must say I failed hopelessly. This really didn't turn out that well. It is possible to diffuse the light, to get a little bit softer shadows and reduce some of the hard flash. But as I said, getting interesting product photos when you're not able to move the flash is really hard. So I think it is safe to say that flashes like these are really supposed to help you recreate those 90s kind of pictures. And you can always slap on a black and white preset or filter, and then you can make even the most non-photogenic people look kind of interesting. Let's just take a quick look at the flashes that I'm going to be using in this video. The Zeniko ZF04 and ZF08 are small, compact, USB chargeable flashes that you can use with almost every camera out there. Each of them cost around $30 and they come in black and in silver. So they are fully manual. They are lightweight, and yeah, they fit in almost every hot shoe of any camera out there. And they're also incredible simple to use. You just turn them on with the power switch. Then there is a button to control the light output, and you can use the power switch to test the light if you want to. And then yeah, you simply fire the camera and the flash will fire as well. So the ZF04 gives you 2 controllable power levels, 1/2 a stop and 1 full power flash, while the ZF08 gives you 5 adjustable levels, ranging from 1/16 of power to full power. And yeah, if the indicator light is red, this means that the flash is recharging and it's not ready to fire again. The ZF04 takes about 40 minutes to charge a full battery. It just weighs around 20 grams and it delivers around 372 shots on full power. And it has a recycling time of only 3 seconds. The ZF08 is slightly larger. It weighs around 36 grams. It takes about 1 hour and 10 minutes to charge, and it gives up to 440 flashes in one fully charged battery. And it also comes with a 3 seconds recycling time. It can also use the power indicators to show how much battery is on the flash unit, and it will also show this when you are charging it, so it's easier to see when the flash is recharged. So we also have the Godox flash here, and let's also just run over the specs here, because the Godox flash is powered by 2 AAA batteries, and yeah, these are not rechargeable unless you buy rechargeable AAA batteries. It weighs around 78 grams and it only comes with around 320 fires in one fully charged or fully powered battery pack. But this one supports slave mode, which basically means that you can use another flash to fire this flash, and the recycling time of the Godox flash is around 3.6 seconds, so a little less fast than the Zeniko one. The power output can be adjusted by this knob here, and it can be adjusted by 1/64 of power to full power. So you have the possibility to control this light a little bit more, but none of these lights will of course replace studio strobes or like real big flashes. While the ZF08 has some more power than the ZF04, here I think the Godox has more power of them all, but to be honest, the power of the flashes are really not that important unless you are really far away from your subject, and this is really not the case when you use these kinds of flashes, because with flashes like this, the goal is usually not to light the whole scene, but to light the subject that you are shooting, which usually is closer to you. For a softer light, you could pair these kind of flashes with a do-it-yourself kind of diffuser, and I will show you this in a bit here in the video. This can reduce the hardness of the shots to some extent, which perhaps can make the shots usable in another way if you are looking for a different kind of vibe or look. So setup one, yeah, is the really simple one. It is the hard flash. So we simply just put the flash on the camera and we make sure to light the scene in a proper way to get the shots that we would like. And the results here are, well, bold shadows and punchy contrast that add edge and drama to the shots. Hard light isn't a flaw, it's a stylistic choice. Sometimes you want all that grit in your shots, and a small compact flash like these ones delivers this in a really nice way. Plus you can use the direct flash on approach when you're out shooting in the sun, in direct sunlight, to light off your subject, making some of the shots where you have the sun backlighting your subjects even more usable. And here you get a more punchy highlight kind of look that cuts through the bright background and actually makes it usable because you can see your subject. So to get these kinds of shots correct, what I will do is I will expose for the background with the camera. So this is without using the flash. So to keep it simple, let's just stay in aperture mode. You will dial in the aperture to around, like, let's say 4 or 5-ish to still get some background blur, but to make sure that we get all of the facial features in focus. What works best, I think, is if you keep the background or the ambient balanced or slightly underexposed. You can go even more underexposed if you want an even more dramatic look, but this is a stylistic choice where you use the exposure dial to turn down the exposure of the shot to get a more darker ambient. Then you turn on the flash, and then you will do some test shots where you start with a low output and to see if this output is enough to light up the subject of your scene. If it's too bright, then you should look at your camera settings to see if your ISO is perhaps a bit too high. Then you can adjust it, or you can move a bit further away, because then the output will not reach your subject in the same way. If it's too low, then you will put in some more power on your flash to help light up your subject. And yeah, something that is really great about these kinds of flashes are they are so easy to use. And yeah, you can just pop them on and then you can start shooting, just as I did here. I didn't really plan to do this kind of a scene here. I just wanted to capture this as a memory. And I thought that this kind of situation here called upon this 90s kind of editorial look with a little bit of hard flash and yeah, some nice fast food eating. And I guess this is really one of the takeaways about these kinds of flashes, because they are so incredibly small. So you can, yeah, put them in the bag that comes along with the flash, and you can just carry them in your purse or in your bag next to your camera. And you can pop them on if you want to use them in a certain situation. So the second setup here is just a variation of the first one. I just want to show that if you don't want this too hard or harsh kind of lighting, then you can use a do-it-yourself kind of diffuser to make the lights a bit softer. Just keep in mind that this will take away some of the output of the flash. And yeah, since these flashes are compact and fixed, we cannot really tilt or bounce the light off walls. So this is not an option, but we can still diffuse the lighting in an effective way. But all you really need is a simple piece of paper or a bit of fabric in front of the flash. The shadows transition more smoothly and the texture appear a little bit more refined. So it's a little hack, you might say, because you don't need an expensive softbox So what are my final thoughts on these flashes? These kind of flashes are really affordable tools if you want that disposable camera kind of look or hard-on flash editorial photos. They work really great for portraits, and you can use the light to fill in shadows as well if you are doing portraits outside. While the look isn't the most pleasing, the look you get with these kinds of flashes are a stylistic choice, and they have come really popular over the last couple of years and are still being used for commercial work as well. While the possibilities aren't endless when it comes to creativity with these kinds of flashes, there is still more to explore than what I've shown here. For instance, you can do long shutter speed flash photography. These are the cool shots that you see when you see photos from like nightclubs or wedding parties, when you get the trail of lights into the shot. But you can also use this kind of technique for street photography, and I will try to go out and recreate this kind of technique in street photography myself in a future video. So if you would like to see this might be the time for you to consider subscribing. Wink wink. One thing you should be aware when you're using these really small flashes are that they are really close to your camera. So sometimes you might get what is called lens shadowing to occur in your photos, and this is basically just the lens blocking some of the light, making a shadow underneath or in the bottom of your photo. How to avoid this is by not using a too wide lens or a lens with a too long barrel. And be careful not to take your camera too close to a surface, because then you will see the shadow on the surface. So if you're interested in checking the flashes out, I have provided some links down in my description, so you can go and check them out. Remember to hit the like button if you found this video interesting, so other people can find it as well here on YouTube. And then I guess there's nothing more to say. Then I will see you around, guys. Boy.
I'm the biggest in the game. I'm the one they talk about. Everybody know my name. My resume is loud.